Good morning, hello, and welcome to This Date in History, also known as TDH. This show is all about the events that occurred to date in years past, both recognized by actual historians, but mainly things that we personally find intriguing enough for us to bring to you. I do not know where my phone is. Anyway, the sources of this information come from the Smart Device application, Today in History, What Happened Today in History, Historical Calendar, and the website onthisday.com. For links to those sources, the music, and anything else potentially interesting, check the underbar in the description below. Anyway, I am A.O. Xander.
I'm Meat Cleaver.
And today is Sun's Day, also known as Sunday, July 24th, 2022.
Great day today.
It is a good day. Starting us off, in the year of 1148, Louis the Seventh of France laid siege to Damascus during the Second Crusade. So didn't we talk about that yesterday? So I guess he bolstered the forces or something.
Could have been. I've forgotten already. That's 24 hours ago. Give me a break.
Wow. Well, he is 75, so...
No, I'm not.
76?
Yes.
I was downplaying you.
Hey, you downgraded me. What are you doing?
Downgrade? No, wouldn't downgrade be an up age?
I'm proud of my age, so what can I tell you?
Well, it's the same as a gas station.
Gas station?
76.
Yeah. I should have known where it was coming from.
Yeah. 1534's Joaquin Carter landed in Canada and claimed it for France. You bloody France.
And he still thinks they're French. He's Canada.
Yep. 1567, Mary, Queen of Scots, was forced to abdicate, leaving her one-year-old son to become King James VI of the Scots. Yeah.
Of the Scots.
Yes. Yeah. And I was looking at this one earlier, like taking what you said earlier and stuff. Like 1525, the second attempt to circumnavigate the globe as 7 ships departed Crunona, headed by Garcia Joffre de Loaesa, on orders of King Charles I of Spain, for the Spice Islands. Only one will make it. So
one did make it.
Yes.
That's 1525?
1525, 7 ships left, 1 came back.
Wow. I mean, that's something.
But that's an attempt.
Yeah.
So
but one did make it.
Well, no, that's the attempt.
Made it back or made it around?
I don't know, because they went to the Spice Islands. So maybe they went there and then they came back.
Okay.
By the time they got there...
It says circumvent the world, right?
Well, second attempt to circumnavigate the globe. So it looks like only 1 made it to the Spice Islands.
Okay.
So, and then by then, they're 6 ships short. They're not done, canceled
Well, they had no path to go around the world. They had no idea land mass is unknown.
Yeah. Well, no, by 1500s, they discovered America.
Yes.
So,
but there was... As far as
the Pacific Ocean,
water channels around the world, I don't know where.
There's only one way to get to it, and it's around the Cape of Good Hope at the end of South America, or is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay. Because you can't go up through the north.
No.
That's all ice and everything, and that was before they discovered all the passage, everything, way before the Panama Canal.
Oh yeah.
So.
Way before.
Anyway, moving on up into 1673, Edmund Halley entered the Queen's College, Oxford, as an undergraduate. Later to become an astronomer, mathematician, and physicist. Yeah.
It's a lot.
He has the hair,
Yeah.
Like, what is with it? What is with, crazy smart people and crazy hair,
I don't know.
Like Albert Einstein, and stuff like that. Yeah. Like every now and then your hair is wild, what's left of it.
That's because I'm a smart guy.
Yeah.
There you go. Sure.
Oh, what's left of it. So, you still have some strands, of intelligence.
Thanks.
1692, French defeated William III of England at Steinkirk, which is today Ingheim, I think. So, let's see here. Okay, well, this is interesting. 1701, Antoine de la Mothe Cadillac founded a trading post at Fort Pontchartrain, later to become the city of Detroit. Happy birthday, Detroit.
When is they building cars back then?
Well, his last name was Cadillac.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. But 1700. So
that's weird.
That is strange. And Detroit was a major car manufacturer, later on.
Of course.
So that's weird, though. But that was like 100 years before the invention of the automobile. because the car wasn't
family
like,
generation would be there a long time if that came through that.
I mean, like I think like the first actual car. When was the car invented? I think it was like 1840 something. I was off, 1886. So 185 years before the car was even invented, some guy named Cadillac essentially founded the city of Detroit.
Yeah.
That is weird.
Like a lineage, if Cadillac car came from that.
1758, George Washington was elected to Virginia House of Burgesses, representing Frederick County. Huh.
Elected what?
He was elected to the Virginia House of Burgesses.
I wonder what the heck that was.
Virginia House of Burgesses. Well, let's check that out. What is the Virginia House of Burgesses? It was the elected representative element of the Virginia General Assembly, the legislative body of the colony of Virginia. Okay. With the creation of the House of Burgesses in 1642, the General Assembly, which had been established in 1619, became a bicameral institution.
So it was like their state senate. Okay.
More or less, yeah. So, yeah. 1799, William Clark was willed the slave York. What? Slave York.
I don't know.
Oh! Yeah, that's right. They had slaves during their expedition, so I guess there was a slave named York. That he was willed in. Maybe somebody died, gave it.
Well, they did. They were in wills, and you had to accept them. And there's a lot of things required you to take slaves, even if you didn't want them, because it was your responsibility.
Well, here's something interesting. Jumping back about 6 years, 1793, France passed first copyright law. Now, I'm wondering if that's the first copyright law, period, or the first in France.
The first copyright law, period. I think it's the first concept of that.
First copyright law.
The
first federal act. No, the first copyright law in history. 1790. What year was this? 1793. Okay, so it's saying the first Federal Copyright Act was the Copyright Act of 1790. It granted copyright for a term of 14 years from the time of recording the title thereof, with a right of renewal for another 14 years if the author survived to the end of the first term. The Act covered not only books, but also maps and charts.
Yeah, but in what country was that?
The United States.
Oh, that's the U.S.?
Yes, History of the Copyright Law of the United States.
Oh, okay.
So we did it in 1790, and then so I guess France is 1793.
They're giving us false credit here. They should have said, in that country. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it says, well, I guess you could say first copyright, well, no matter how you word it, it's weird. First copyright law passed in France.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, is it the first in France? Like, English is confusing.
Didn't say that, though.
Well, France passed the first copyright law.
Sounds like that's the first ever.
Yeah. But France passed its first copyright law.
Yeah.
Well, man, our source keeps failing us.
Yeah, well, it's just poorly written.
Yeah.
Easily changed.
You know what? Maybe I should apply for a job.
Wouldn't hurt. I'll highlight this stuff for you.
I'm serious. Maybe I should actually do that.
Why not?
You know what? I'll send an email today. Remind me. 1824, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania newspaper published results of the first public opinion poll with a clear lead through Andrew Jackson.
The first public poll. Okay.
Yeah, public opinion poll.
Yeah.
So this is not even a poll. This is just like, who do you believe is going to win? Or who are you going to vote for?
Polls are
opinions. Yes. So, but once again, it's not the vote that matters. It's who counts the vote that matters. So, because how are we going to find out? The officials say, what the officials say, and who are we to,
It's called the paper trail.
Yeah. Well, who follows it?
Well, you can keep going forever, yeah.
1847, Brigham Young and his Mormon followers arrived at Salt Lake City in Utah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that beard looks like it's made of salt. Like, look at that. It's just...
I wonder when they landed there, said, yep, this is it. Yeah. What was so great about that?
I think it was the only land that they could take because, Mormonism back then was still, in my opinion, it still should be shunned. The very basis of their theology is the belief that Native Americans are red because God punished them and changed their skin color red because they wouldn't accept Jesus Christ. They believe Jesus Christ came to the Americas and tried to preach the gospel, and the Native Americans wouldn't believe them, so God punished them by making their skin red. The very foundation of their religion is bigotry.
You're saying that, I have no idea. The right to have their religion, I'm 100%.
What about Scientology? What about Westboro Baptist
right.
Church?
I don't say anybody's
what
right
about Al
or
Qaeda?
anybody's wrong. It's just, what about what?
What about Al Qaeda?
Al Qaeda.
Do they have the right to their religion?
Well, they've politicized it.
Every religion is politicized. Religion is the first level
on.
politic.
We're losing that.
1851, the long-hated window tax was abolished in the United Kingdom.
The long what?
Hated window tax. Window tax. What is window tax? It was a property tax based on the number of windows in a house. So basically, depending on how much windows you have in your house, you were taxed that. Well, that's kind of...
Just a thing of note here. If anybody tells you, any politician says we have to enact a
tax?
A VAT tax, value added tax, called VAT. Fight it. Fight it any way you can, because those are hidden taxes beyond belief. And we'll be paying more and more in taxes that nobody sees. What it is, it's a tax on the manufacturer to the wholesaler, or the wholesaler to the retailer. They tax it each step of the way. And who pays for it at the end? The people.
You do. By the way, speaking of taxes...
Talk to your whoever it is. Fight it.
Speaking of taxes, thanks to good old Brandon and California and all that crap, the tax on these 2 bottles of vape juice alone, $10. $10 just in tax. And that's recent.
You're addicted to it, so you're stuck.
Well, yeah, that's recent. It's something that happened, what, a month ago?
I don't know.
Like, it hasn't been that long, but yeah. Anyway, moving on up into 1901, writer O. Henry was released from prison in Austin, Texas, after having served 3 years for embezzlement from a bank. Ooh, damn.
Yeah.
Embezzlement from a bank. That guy had some balls right there. Made of gold, maybe.
When he was done, they were.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. An iron ball, with a prison thing, 1 year later, in 1902, Victor Trumper scored a century for Australia before the lunch 4th Test cricket versus England. Lunch? Like what the... Why are you bringing, meal times into this now? Do you sit and have, egg salad sandwiches? Oh, I do display, the grounds today are in tip-top, condition. No pip-pop, zippity-bop, I don't know. 1905, Tsar Nicholas II of Russia and Emperor Wilhelm II of Germany signed the Bjorko Treaty, whereby each country agreed to come to the other's defense if attacked by European powers.
Something like NATO.
A little bit. Well, I mean, the concept... Well, remember, during the Napoleonic Wars, pretty much the entirety of Europe were part of an accord to defend themselves and wage war against Napoleon Bonaparte. Not France, Napoleon Bonaparte. They're going after the person, not just a country. They're going after him.
Yeah. Well, Nikola there, he wasn't around too much longer.
Nicholas II of Russia, no. In 1905, the Tsar. Well, no, in 1914, that's when World War I started.
Yeah.
But no, Lenin overthrew the Tsar, back in,
1916
1916 or 17.
Yeah, I don't know the dates, but
But by then...
He's not going to be around too much longer.
But see, here's the thing. They were at war with Germany. Right here, Germany and Russia are allied. But at some point, that breaks apart, and they go to war with each other. And then the whole rise of the communism and all that stuff was based off of, let's get us out of the war. That was his major political thing, and he did get out of the war, Because, see, here's the thing. The start of World War I, not the exact precise start, but Germany, was already at a 2-front war. They were fighting, France and the European powers and everything. Yeah. They were allied with Italy, which, later would, do what they would repeat in World War II, which would, leave the Central Powers and join the Allies. But Germany and Russia were at war. Whereas in World War II, Germany and Russia were allies, so it was a little bit backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. So instead of I
wonder how that flipped when they signed is it a treaty? I guess it is.
Right there, treaty.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Anyways, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
I like the way you segmented off of that.
Yeah.
I learned something. That's important.
That's the point of the show. By the way, if you see anything, because you have more of an ability. So
I don't have classes to read.
Oh, Well, here, take mine.
Oh, yeah, that's what I need.
And now I can't read. 1911, U.S. explorer Hiram Bingham discovered Machu Picchu, the lost city of the Incas.
Ooh.
Machu Picchu. Yeah, that's that one. Here we go. Images. This one here. The one up all the way up in the mountains and everything. And there's a whole thing about that.
Yeah.
Like, because they at some point they figured out adding in, because I was watching something about guano. Like, there's islands out there, like there's like 11 some odd islands that are literally just like over like thousands of years, just mountains of just fossilized bird shit, you know. And that's, you know, like that, you know, it adds nitrogen back into the soil and everything, and that's really good for irrigation.
Yeah.
At some point, the Incas, you know, they found out, you know, they didn't know, you know, about, you know, nitrogen and stuff, but
it worked.
But they found out that, you know, they put goat shit in, you know, and tilled the soil,
Stuff grew
you know,
like crazy.
stuff grew more, and that's what allowed them to even grow stuff in Machu Picchu, because at that elevation, things wouldn't grow unless you aerate and nutrient the soil.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. Anyway, 1917, the trial of Dutch exotic dancer Mata Hari began in Paris for allegedly spying for Germany and thus causing the deaths of 50,000 soldiers.
Jeez.
Wow.
Jeez.
Loose lips sink ships, you know? And that's not just for Navy. Oh, yeah.
What kind of lips are you talking about?
Well,
Sorry.
both kinds, I guess.
That's really getting low. I'm sorry.
Yeah, right about adult level, Will?
No, let's move on quick. It's going south.
Going south? 1929, U.S. President Herbert Hoover proclaimed Kellogg-Briand Pact, which renounced war. Okay. Kellogg-Briand Pact. Oh, that's interesting. In 1929, I mean, that's between the world wars. It officially the General Treaty for Reunification of War as an Instrument of National Policy. It is a 1928 international agreement on peace in which signatory states promise not to use war to resolve disputes or conflicts of whatever nature or of whatever origin they may be, which may arise among them.
What does that mean?
I don't know. It's just, you know, lawyer talk.
Yeah.
The pact was signed by Germany, France, and the United States on 27th of August, 1928, and by most other states soon after. Sponsored by France and the U.S., the pact is named after its authors, yada, 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 and it just goes on from there. For further reading into this subject, please... Oh, God, no, my other screen is... Yep, okay. Crap. Okay, I'm just going to have to...
You gotta reboot?
No.
Take a pause for the cause.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just see if I can click and drag. Yeah, here we go. So, okay. So, pardon me. You're seeing the background here. All right. Moving back to today's history. 1931, Paavo Nurmi ran world record 2 miles in 8 minutes, 59.6 seconds. Wow.
Yes, it's been a mile.
2 miles.
Huh?
He ran 2 miles,
2 miles
in just under 9 minutes.
Oh, okay, my bad. I'm not hearing right.
Yeah. 1941, Franklin Delano Roosevelt demanded Japanese troops out of Indochina. And, so in a few months, we'd get our answer.
Yeah.
So, and then, 4 years after that, Snap, Crackle, Pop, Rice Krispies.
Amazing how everything flip-flops, you know? Political history just changes.
Yeah.
Relatively overnight compared to everything else now.
It's insane.
Japan's our friend and China's not.
Yeah. And Germany's just weak, you know?
Germany's the best in the country.
Merkel was an idiot. 1942, Irving Berlin's musical This Is the Army premiered in New York City. Huh. That smells like propaganda to me.
Could be.
1952, High Noon, a U.S. Western film directed by Fred Zinman, starring Gary Cooper and Thomas Mitchell, was released.
Yeah, High Noon.
1956, Brendan Behan's Queer Fellow premiered in London. Queer Fellow. I wonder if that's supposed to be Queer Fellow?
I don't
And if they change the name because queer is an offensive word now, even though if it's an LGBTQT, here we go. The LGBTQT, lesbian, bi, gay, queer, all that stuff.
Yeah.
They're going around. Oh, there's more than two genders. There's more than two genders. Then what does bi mean?
I don't know. Two.
Two.
I mean, it means two, but
Yeah.
I don't know what's it.
Well, it's idiotic.
I know.
1958, Ted Williams was fined $250 for spitting at Boston fans again. Why are you spitting at the fans? That's stupid. 1 year later, 1959, U.S. Vice President Richard Nixon argues with Nikita Khrushchev, known as kitchen debate.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I think I remember hearing something about that. Were they actually debating kitchens or something, or
no? Nixon was trying to show off how much more advanced we are than Russia, and Nikita kind of embarrassed him because it was a kitchen of the future, not what Americans have. He goes, well, you're just trying to show us this and make us look bad.
Yeah.
This isn't what Americans have, and he kind of got egg all over his face.
Damn. Well, at least it's not as bad as Ronald Reagan saying that he's a donut.
He's a donut.
Remember the I am a Berliner speech?
Yeah.
But because he probably mispronounced a word, instead of saying I am a German, it's like I am a donut. Remember that?
No,
you were on the show when we read that.
I don't remember it. I don't remember a lot of things. Hardly remember my name. What are you talking about?
You wish you can forget this though.
That's just indelible ink.
1961, Roger Maris hit 4 home runs in a doubleheader.
The double M's, Maris Mantle.
1965, Casey Stengel resigned as manager of the New York Mets. All right.
Yeah, he's around forever.
1967, Charles de Gaulle said, "Vive le Québec libre, long live free Quebec." Yes. And then also in 1967, the first modern hospice, St. Christopher's, was founded by Dr. Cicely Saunders in London, England, beginning a modern palliative care and the hospice movement. Dang. And 365 days later, 1968, Hoyt Wilhelm pitched in a record 907th Major League game, breaking Cy Young's record for pitching appearances.
The Cy Young Award today is the best pitcher of the season.
But look at that hair.
Yeah.
Whoop, so dweeby. 1969, Apollo 11 returned to Earth. Welcome back, Eagle 1. So.
Yeah.
Yep. 1974, Death Wish, based on the novel by Brian Garfield, directed by Michael Winner, and starring Charles Bronson, was released in the U.S.
Yep. Charles Bronson.
Was he a winner, though? Michael Winner,
Okay.
1 year later, 1975, Giorgio Armani and Sergio Galeotti was founded Giorgio Armani SPA in Milan, Italy.
I have an Armani.
Armani. Ooh. I have Gucci glasses. Ooh, I actually do, but 1977.
But they're not Armani's.
No, but they're Gucci. They're
Gotcha.
good, 1977, Pete Rose passed Frankie Frisch as switch hit leader with 2,881.
Now, do you know what a switch hitter is?
Like right or left?
Yeah.
Oh,
Go up either side of the plate.
so he's ambidextrous.
I don't
With
know
the-
about
with the
that,
bat.
but yeah, he can.
Ambidextrous is someone who can use both hands.
I know that, but I don't know if he is. But he is able to bat efficiently from both sides.
That's what I'm saying. He's ambidextrous with a bat.
With a bat.
So don't piss him off. If he can come out swinging both ends like a kayak paddle,
Yeah.
1977, U.S. Open Women's Golf at Hazeltine National Golf Club. Hollis Stacy won wire to wire by 2 strokes from Nancy Lopez.
Okay.
In 1978, Billy Martin resigned as Yankee manager after, quote, "one is a born liar, the other a convicted one," in quotes, comment about Steinbrenner and Jackson. That's
That was the
some
owner
harsh
and-
words right
owner
there.
and a player of the Yankees, so obviously he was caught in the middle and got pissed.
Yep. 1979, Red Sox Carl Yastrzemski hit his 400th. Yastrzemski
No, I can't talk.
hit his 400th home run. He can't talk.
Not when it comes to Yastrzemski, I can't.
Oh well, that was a better try than me. But you probably heard
I know
the name.
his name. Yeah, that's why I'm saying it.
Also in 1979, U.S. President Jimmy Carter named Paul Volcker as chairman of the Federal Reserve.
That guy.
Yep. 1983, Pine Tar game, George Brett's home run disallowed against Yanks overturned.
Yeah.
Huh.
He hit a home run, and around the bases, went into the dugout, and the umpire picked up his bat and saw there's tar, which they use for stick 'em on their bats, too high up the bat, and called him out. And he came running out of the dugout and almost attacked the umpire.
Jeez. Yeah, that's suspicious right there. 1984, Careless Whisper. Single released by George Michael, credited in the U.S. to Wham! Billboard Song of the Year 1985, so the next year. Yeah, that song is a spicy one. 1985, the French DGSE officers Dominique Prieur and Alan Maffart.
I like that. That's what he's going to be called from now on.
Were arrested and charged with murder over the bombing of the Rainbow Warrior. Dang.
Now, what's the Rainbow Warrior?
That way, I reported on that the other day. Something to do with like they're protesting nuclear tests or something, and they got too close, and then they were fired upon, or something happened, and they sunk, and somebody died or something. But it was protesters. Once again, they got too close. You know, it's like, dude, we get why you're protesting, but stop. You know, stop chaining yourself to trees. You know, stop sitting in the middle of the road. We get your point. You're just being a nuisance. Stop. You know, you're hurting your cause. You know.
The point being, if you're going to do it, I believe you believe in it. You think it's important. You just got to be prepared for the consequences.
Yes.
Not that they're right, but you know, you're going to get what you
know.
get.
But like that one guy, you know, I told you the other day. You know, like the guy who was on probation or something. And like they were all sitting in the middle of the freeway, and then he got arrested. He was on what's the other word? Not probation, but he was on what's that? Like you get out of prison, you know, and
yeah, you're on probation.
But what's the other word?
I don't know.
You know there's another word, right? Like I guess it's probation. His what's it? What is it?
Yeah. Okay, it's not Actually, it's not probation.
No, it's something else.
Yeah. Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
But you know that there's another word. Whatever that word is, he was on that, and then he violated it because he was late for work because that asshole was just sitting and not moving and everything. Protesters, we get it. But every time you do something like this, you're only hurting your own cause and making it less likely for it to come to fruition. Stop negatively affecting people's lives. We're all in this world together. We're not going out of our way to impede you, so stop doing that to us. Alright? Anyway, 1985, Indian Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi signed a peace accord with Sikh leader Harshan Singh Longoai to settle the 3-year Punjab crisis. This is bugging.
Where was he from?
India.
No, I know he was the other guy. Who was the treaty between?
Sikh leader Harshan Singh Longoai.
Oh, it's Sikh.
Sikh,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And hold on a second. This is bothering me.
What?
When you get out of prison, parole.
Parole. Yeah.
He was violating his parole.
Yeah.
There we go. That was bothering me. I had to get it out there. Oh, this guy again. His death date was a couple days ago. But like, remember the comment you made? Like he looks like I'm dead. Like he has that face.
Yeah.
So it's just like, oh hey, perfect, you know. 1992, Faye Vincent reinstated Yankee owner George Steinbrenner, effective January, February, March the 1st in 1993. All right. So yeah, wow, that took about 3/4 of a year. That's insane.
Yeah.
1994, Tour de France, Miguel Indurain of Spain won 4th consecutive tour, 5 foot 39 inches ahead. 39 inches? What?
Yeah.
Well, why isn't it?
I don't know. Why don't you have another foot?
Well, 39 inches is 3 more feet.
I don't know why they're doing that.
5 foot 39 inches ahead of Peter Ugramov, Djem Oladin, Abdujaparov Point winner.
But here you go. They go miles and miles and miles. That's how competitive they are. And it comes down to feet. You know, you win less than 10 feet.
Yeah. Yeah, have you seen that one clip, though, where, like, you know, that guy, he thought, like, you know, he had it in, and he raised his hands, and some guy goes speeding past him, he's just like, oh, no, oh, no,
yeah.
and he lost.
Yeah.
Ooh, 1998, Saving Private Ryan, directed by Steven Spielberg, starring Tom Hanks, Edward Burns, and Matt Damon, was released, later to win the Academy Awards Best Director of 1999.
What a great movie.
That's a really good movie.
That long ago. That's 23 years ago.
So 23 minus 35. What is that? That's 12.
Yeah.
So I was 12 years old because I remember we saw it in the theater. And when I saw that first scene in the theater when the ramp of the Higgins boat went down and those guys just got mowed down, you know, brains, ass, and guts all over the place, that changed my perspective on war forever. Like, that, it was shock. Yeah. It was a shock to the system as a kid. You know, like, because, you know, like who doesn't want to grow up to be a firefighter or an army man or something as a kid?
Yeah.
But, you know, you see what, you know, these people went up to, you know, just getting blasted in the face, you know, 50 rounds a second.
How would you like to have gone through that and somehow you survived?
Oh.
And how does that not mark you for life?
You know, like people...
whoever survived that still had so much stuff to go
Well, I mean,
through.
like, you know, you saw your friends, you know, your family, your brothers
everything
just...
around you.
Falling apart.
Everything around you is just blowing up. All the people.
Yeah, and those were kids. Those were, like, you know, 18-year-old. Some of them lied, 17, 16, you know, year olds.
Yeah, they lied to get in.
And then now we need safe spaces because words hurt. Fucking pussies. 2002, on the 200th anniversary of his birth, French author Alexandre Dumas, The Three Musketeers, his ashes were interred in the Pantheon in Paris in a televised ceremony. Alexandre Dumas. Not to be confused with a dumbass. So. 1 year later, 2003, Ringo Starr's 8th All-Star Band debuted in concert. Members included Colin Hay, Paul Carrack, John White, Sheila E., and Mark Rivera. 2005, 92nd Tour de France, no winner because everybody was drugged. Lance Armstrong retired after a winning record 7th consecutive victory, but disqualified in 2012 for doping. So
they must hate this guy because they keep bringing that up.
Yeah, well, 7 years later, 2005 to 2012, 7 years, and they disqualified. Really?
Yeah, I know, it was a long time later.
You're gonna bitch about 7 years? You know? Like, it's endemic.
You know, you should dismiss all of them because
just in the sport. You know, if you're gonna do that, you know, if your players don't respect the rules, just end it.
Hopefully, they've cleaned up the sport. I don't want to end the sport because it's incredible what those guys go through. I mean, it's amazing.
They didn't clean up anything.
I don't know. Who knows? I don't.
Anyway, also in 2005, British Senior Open Men's Golf at the Royal Aberdeen. Tom Watson won his second Open Senior title in a playoff with Ireland's Des Smith. Tom Watson. 2012, Danielle Steele's novel, Friends Forever, a Novel, was published. That's a boring title. Friends Forever, a novel.
Yeah.
Oh, if she puts that much, you know, imagination into the title, I can just imagine how dry the rest of the book is.
Not necessarily.
How do you
make a good chick flick, though?
2015, U.S. President. You couldn't see, but my eyes just rolled.
Gloss. Total gloss on the eyes. Glossed over.
2015, U.S. President Barack Obama began a historic 2-day visit to Kenya. Okay, so he went back to his place of birth. So, 2016, the 103rd Tour de France was won by Chris Froome of Great Britain. I wonder if Froome vrooms, you know? 1 year later, 2017, Donald Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, said he did not collude with Russia after meeting with Senate investigators.
Russia collusion, man, what a bunch of crock that
Actually, hold on a second. Let's see. Trump in Russia. Let me show you something. There you go. See, this is the extent of Trump's ties in Russia.
Yeah.
Do you see?
Yeah, I do.
Do you get it?
No.
Trump's ties in Russia.
Ah.
He's wearing a Trump brand tie.
I got it.
So that's the joke.
I know.
Oh, Trump ties in Russia. You know. 2018, singer Demi Lovato was hospitalized after a drug overdose in L.A.
Okay.
So what?
She must have survived and it didn't kill her.
Yeah, well. 2019, 19-year-old Hungarian swimmer Christoph Milak defeated Michael Phelps' 10-year-old 200-meter butterfly world record at the World Championships in Gwangju, South Korea. Swims 1:50.73. So he swum it in. He swum the 200 meter in 1 minute 50.73 seconds, which is 0.78 seconds faster than Phelps.
The key there is a world record by Phelps held for 10 years. That is amazing.
Yeah.
That's the amazing part of it.
Well, I mean, like, there's world records, like...
Oh, yeah, but in swimming, not so much.
Yeah. Well, there's only, like, at some point we have to peak, because we can't swim 200 meters in 0 seconds.
Right.
At one point we have to, like, reach our limit, physically,
But we keep changing. We get taller, stronger. The species is also evolving, but you can't get down to a zero-sum game, for sure.
Yeah. Also in 2019, the new UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, boo, drastically reshaped cabinet for his first day in office, appointing Dominic Raab as Foreign Secretary, Priti Patel as Home Secretary, and Sajid Javid as Chancellor.
He was a eventual disappointment to the population. He started off with flying colors.
Because the powers
somehow he went woke.
Because the powers that be that owned and control him needed him to build up, a fan base. So they had him do good things, and then they had him do the things that they needed him to do. It's all just a song and dance. All these people are just dancing monkeys. Okay. 2019, Special Counsel Robert Mueller reported to the Mueller report. Reported to the U.S. Senate that President Trump was not exonerated of obstruction of justice and that Russia interfered in the U.S. election to benefit Trump. Bullshit! If anybody did, it was Facebook and Twitter. Get real. Before we go on to bursts and deaths, were there any articles that grabbed your attention today?
Yeah, well, the one there, because you elaborated on it, was really interesting, was the Russia-German peace treaty.
Yeah.
And how that flip-flopped.
Yeah. Well, because Wilhelm was kind of nuts. Like, he just went crazy, and he just wanted, he had aspirations of an empire, the Second Reich. Yeah. So he wanted, I gotta show you after this. Remind me, and please don't just suddenly leave at the end of the show. I gotta show you. I'm not sure if I have, but there's this YouTube channel called History Bombs, and they do a one take, and they do like this music video thing, and it goes through all the stuff. They have one for World War I, World War II, aviation, the Cold War, like the CIA stuff. Like they have several really cool ones. So, but what about Waukesha Carter here landing in Canada, claiming it for France?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where you eventually,
That's right.
Yeah, came from.
I did. Not through him, but I came from there.
By the way, you want to know how Canada, it got its spelling? Like, how they decided to spell their name?
I heard this before, but I've forgotten.
So someone went up
to or something.
No. Somebody went up to one of you, weird Looney Toonies, and they're like, "Hey, how do you spell your country anyway?" Like, it's easy, CANADA.
Yeah.
What's all that about?
I think I heard this from you before. I knew it was something.
What's all that about,
Yeah, boot, yeah.
1783, moving on in the bursts, we have Simon Bolivar. That's an interesting name. That's very familiar. This is why. He was a Venezuelan political and military leader. He freed 6 Latin American republics from Spanish rule. Born in Caracas, dying in 1830. So yeah, like he liberated, Venezuela and 6 Latin American republics, from because Spain for the most part, owned and controlled Central and South America.
Yeah.
So
we don't realize how much Spain really controlled.
Oh, they did. At one point they were a power, but at some point they, I don't know what happened, but they fizzled out, and they just left England and France really.
They all do.
And well, it's the average lifespan for empires and stuff is roughly about 300 years. And the United States is close to that.
Coming up to 250 here in a few years.
Yeah, and look at the state we're in.
Yeah.
Very Romanesque. 1802, Alexandre Dumas, a French author, The Three Musketeers, The Count of Monte Cristo, born in Aisne, France, dying in 1870. Yeah, we spoke about that guy before. It looks like his collar is choking him. Like he's like.
All those collars look like they choke you.
Yeah, well, that one is because like he's a little overweight.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Looks like his neck is blowing a bubble. You know. 1821, William Poole, better known as Bill the Butcher, a American gang member, New York City's Bowery Boys, born in Sussex County, New Jersey, dying in 1855.
I wonder if
Bill
that has
the
anything
Butcher.
to do with the movie, New York.
Gangs of New York?
Gangs
I
of
believe
New York?
so. Yeah, Gangs of New... Let me check. Gangs of New York. Gangs of New York. Bill the Butcher, William Poole. Yep.
Yeah, that was that guy that started it.
He was the leader of the Washington Street Gang, which later became known as the Bowery Boys Gang. He was a local leader of the Know-Nothing political movement in the mid-19th century New York City. So, not only was he involved, but he was a primary instigator.
Yeah.
So it sounds like.
Yeah.
In 1826, Francisco Solano Lopez was born on this date. He was president and dictator of Paraguay from 1862 to 70. Born in Asuncion, Paraguay, dying in 1870. So sounds like he got overthrown and probably assassinated or something.
Yeah.
So because that's when his rule ended. He was a dictator.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
dictators don't usually go to bed peacefully.
No.
You know.
No.
1864, Frank Wedekind was a German actor and playwright. The Lulu Plays. Born in Hanover, German Confederation, dying in 1918. Huh. Wow. We have Amelia Earhart. Ooh. Born on this date in 1897. She was an American aviator, the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic, and also the first woman to fly across the Atlantic, period, as a passenger. Before she flew, she was a passenger, and she was the first woman across the Atlantic, period.
Okay.
You know, then later to become the first woman to fly.
Yeah.
Then solo.
Yeah.
Breaking all sorts of records.
Yeah.
You know, man, you know, we need people like her again. You know, where are the good women? You know, we don't need any of all these, like, you know,
hey, we got a lot of
virtue signaling.
We got a lot of great women, everyday women coming up really strong. They're called mama bears.
Yeah.
And
they're
not going to take a lot of BS that's going on.
Yeah. We have Karl Malone, born on this date in 1963. Is this guy pre-Malone? You know, because we have Post Malone. Is this guy pre-Malone? I thought I already found pre-Malone, but this is probably somebody else.
Karl Malone, a great basketball player. Come on.
A U.S. Basketball Hall of Fame forward, NBA MVP of 1997 and 1999, 14-time NBA All-Star for the Utah Jazz, and Olympic gold in the 1992 Olympics and 96. He was born in Summerfield, Louisiana. He's still alive.
Yes, he is. I would have been shocked if he wasn't. And he played for the Lakers.
We have another really
latest part of his career. He played for the Lakers for a season or two.
Speaking of known sports legends, 1 year later, on the same exact date of 24th of July, 1964, Barry Bonds, a U.S. baseball left fielder, MLB home run record, 762, 7-time National League Most Valuable Player, born in Riverside, California. That's just across the pass from us.
Yeah. Funny they don't bring up doping, do they? Like they do on Lance Armstrong.
Oh, that's because he's black.
No.
Yes, it does. No. Lance Armstrong is white. This guy's black. Lance Armstrong literally lost a nut.
Don't bring color in. Come on.
They do. Well, you got to fight fire with fire, unfortunately. In 1982, Elizabeth Moss.
Fight hate with hate.
Well, I'm not fighting hate with hate. I'm just bringing out the obvious. There's a reason why a white guy is getting shit and a black guy is not. Elizabeth Moss, born on this date in 1982, U.S. actress, Mad Men, born in Los Angeles, California. And then, moving on into deaths, we have Martin Van Buren. 1862. He was the 8th U.S. president, serving from 1837 through 41. He died of heart failure at the age of 79.
Pretty good age for back then.
Yeah, really good age. Actually, you know, that makes me think, like, do we really, because we think we're so good with our technological advancements and everything, but you look back, and yeah, people died, 10, 20 years earlier, but I mean, like, There's somebody who was, the oldest recorded person who ever lived was what's her face from France, who was born in like 1870 something and lived up until 1999. She was like 123 years old.
Yeah.
Or something like
that.
But
our real advancements, when you talk about that, is like deaths, child deaths, things like that. We've improved so dramatically on that. And then you got to look at, okay, the women were having so many children because a portion would die if their children would die. Well, that's going to affect your longevity of life too.
But think about all this, like, in today's world with all, and I'm sorry for getting off the topic here, but like, you think about all, like, for thousands and thousands of years, we've eaten bread, no problem. Suddenly we have these gluten allergies, we have these nut allergies, we have all these.
That's all processed.
I saw something a while ago that because of all this and all of our technological advancements and our relying on technology, that my generation will be the first, in I don't know how many generations. My people will not live as long as you baby boomers because of all of these allergies and all of these weaknesses and all of these things and stuff. And then on top of that, all the affordability of things. When I'm your age, I will not be able to get knee surgery like you.
Yeah.
Just now I will not be able to afford it.
I heard the other day, talking to you about this the other day, that now they're doing stem cell grafting to your knees.
Yeah. But will I be able to afford it?
And it's, well, hopefully there's insurances and everything like that to keep it on. Anyway, we're really getting off.
But yeah. Anyway, 1883, we have Matthew Webb. He was an English long-distance swimmer who was the first to swim unassisted across the English Channel, later to drown in the Niagara Falls whirlpool at the age of 35. Uh-oh.
What, do you go over in a barrel or something?
No, he whirlpool.
Yeah, I know.
And so, no, he's a swimmer, so he was trying to swim.
I know. So. I was just being funny. Apparently not very.
Oh, just a barrel of laughs.
Yours is better than mine.
1974, James Chadwick died on this date. He was an English physicist, discovered the neutron. Died at the age of 82. Yeah. And by the way, I don't mention Nobel because ever since they gave a Nobel Peace Prize to Barack Obama for the only reason of him being black, then it lost all credibility to me.
What was he in office 6 months or something like that?
Yeah, and then he went on to bomb like how many children's hospitals and stuff and shit.
I don't know about that.
Like, he killed a lot of civilians,
I don't know about
Yeah, no, he did. It's documented.
But the point being, he was only in office 6 months and couldn't have done anything.
Yeah. And it's all just it's just virtue signaling, and because he's black, that's it. Which he's half white, He had a black parent and a white parent. He's half white, but people only focus on the skin color, huh?
Well, that's the sad thing we have going today.
Yeah. And that's why the Nobel Prize has no value in my eyes anymore. Anyway, in 1980, we lost Peter Sellers. He was an English actor and comedian, The Goon Show, and Pink Panther. Hey.
Oh, I know Pink Panther. I don't know about The Goon Show, but Pink Panther, yeah.
And he died at the age of 54.
I saw him in an old movie doing a very small part as a young guy, just starting his career.
Yeah. And then we have Jackie Mason, died on this date in 2021, just last year. Yakov Maza, a U.S. Emmy and Tony Award-winning stand-up comedian, stage, film, and television actor. The world, according to me, died at the age of 93. That's a pretty good spread.
Yeah, no, he was. I always liked him because he was so different in his deliveries and stuff. He was a very unusual guy.
Why does he look like the Joker mid-transition? His hair is like, really, and his skin is really pale.
Well, that baby's dyed. That color's got to be dyed.
Yeah. I mean, all he needs to do is dye it green, not orange, and then he looks like the Joker.
He does look like the Joker.
I mean, like in mid-transition,
I tell you what, he'd love the way you're talking about him right now.
Well, I bet he's laughing at
Jackie Mason, yeah.
Well, he's up in heaven with Mom, and they're both laughing about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, that concludes the show. Once again, you can check the underbar of the description for any links that you may find interesting, which also includes everything Omni Coalition. For your dose of past events daily, we stream every day at 10 in the morning Pacific time. For all of you and all of us, I am A.O. Xander.
I'm Me Cleaver.
And you are you. And until you catch us tomorrow, do not forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Until then, toodles! Let's go, Brandon. Oh, crap. I forgot. I need to... Oh, no. Hold on a second. Bear with me. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to turn off my webcam here because my screen's frozen. So I can't...
Yeah.
Just do this.
To reboot it?
Yeah, no, I can't. There we go. So I'll just transfer everything over here. There we go.